When you look at various Stormbringer fittings for the Abyss, you find versions that have an afterburner and fittings that have a micro warp drive fitted. In this video I want to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of afterburner and micro warp drive Stormbringers, as both have their individual advantages and disadvantages. Let's first look at afterburner fits. Afterburner fits use less fitting resources and capacitor. This means that you can spend less on implants and modules to fit your stuff easier. But with an afterburner you are a lot slower, talking about around 650 to 700 meters per second. And therefore it also takes a lot of time to get to the gate. Depending on the room, it can happen that you killed all the NPCs before you even got to the gate, as killing the rats is faster than traveling through the room. Another disadvantage of the afterburner fit is that looting of extraction nodes can become difficult and not worth the time, especially in the first and the second room, because there's always the chance that you get the overmind in the next room, which can eat up a lot of time. And therefore it is actually often more reliable and better to just go straight to the main cache, loot it and take the gate, instead of traveling around the room collecting all the extraction nodes that are sometimes 100 kilometers away from the gate. Also with the afterburner fit, it is sometimes a lot harder to kite dangerous spawns like the Kikimoras or the drone battle cruisers out, as they are faster than your AB Stormbringer. This means that in some cases it can happen that those rats will easily catch up to you and do a lot of damage before you can kill them, especially if there's a speed cloud between the entrance point and the gate, or if the rats spawn inside a speed cloud. Now we're gonna look at micro warp drive fittings. With a micro warp drive you are a lot faster and you can collect much more extraction nodes and also kite out dangerous spawns better. For example Sancher, Kikimora or the drone battle cruisers. But if you have a micro warp drive fitted, you will need more power grid and CPU to fit it. This means that you will have to spend more on implants and modules to make it fit. Like with the AB you sometimes can just use Tech 2 modules, but with a micro warp drive you maybe have to spend some ISCON faction modules or even the faction watching projects, which is a lot more expensive than the Tech 2 one depending on the fit. Also you will need perfect fitting skills, like you will have to have all the Magic 14 at level 5 as well as weapon upgrades and advanced weapon upgrades, even like one level difference, and it is basically impossible to fit. With a micro warp drive, when you run it, your signature increases by a factor of 5 to 6 depending on which type you use. This means that even with the increased speed, rats will still hit you easier and marshals will do a lot of damage as they use missiles, and they do more damage the bigger your signature radius is. Also with the micro warp drive you have to pay attention to NPCs that scram you, because then they will turn off your micro warp drive. This can especially be an issue in the Wetmec and Kikimora room, as in that case you cannot burn away fast enough from them. So you have to pay more attention to your position and to the rats that are in the room. Also with a micro warp drive, speed clouds are also way more dangerous, because there it can happen that you accelerate to something like 6, 7 or even 8k a second, and if the speed cloud happens to be at the edge of the room and you are inside it, then it can happen that you get yeeted out very far out into the abyss and die. So this means that if you run a micro warp drive, you have to pay a lot more attention to what clouds there are in the room. And also blue clouds will also be more dangerous because of the much higher signature radius. Both fittings with AB or micro warp drives both have the individual advantages and disadvantages. Which is better would also depend on the weather that you run. Like the Stormbringer can do both exotic and electricals, and I also heard of some people doing darks with the Stormbringer. In exotics and dark, there the AB might be the better choice because of you do not get the cap bonus, and AB is less intensive on cap, and you also don't get the cap penalty with the AB. But in the electrical, where you get the big cap recharge bonus, there's basically no reason to not use a micro warp drive there. Let me know in the comments which of the fittings you prefer, be it AB or micro warp drive, and I will also link a tutorial to an electrical Stormbringer with the micro warp drive and an exotic Stormbringer with the AB. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.